For most people today, the word religion conjures up strong negative associations. This is likely because religion and organized religion have become synonymous concepts, resulting in the ubiquitous use of terms like spiritual or spirituality, replacing what the word religion originally signified. Notice how the procedures of religious practice and devotion continue to hold significance for many people, whereas the words we use to define the impulse have changed. However, it seems important to recognize that the word religion actually means what we mean when we say we are spiritual. People who identify as spiritual are often referring to various processes of inward communion with sacred and transpersonal forces which have been called by many names, but which most of us can understand roughly as God, or more accurately, the gods. It's interesting to note, therefore, that the word religion comes from the Latin religare and means to bind together. This is exactly what we mean by spirituality, which is the process whereby the lower, earthbound, egoic self, through the use of certain practical techniques, willingly merges with a higher order of reality, relinquishing its controlling hold on reality, thereby allowing larger and deeper experiences with a universal tenor to unfold in their consciousness. C.G. Jung spent virtually his entire life exploring the truth of these psychospiritual dynamics, but due to the heavy influence of scientific materialism upon the academic discourse of his day, he was obliged to hide his real interests beneath layers of so-called objective empiricism and the scientific method. To be tarnished with the brush of mysticism or spirituality can be a professional death knell in academia even today. Indeed, some academics won't allow any Jungians in their departments as we speak. Since we've kowtowed to the imperatives of scientific materialism for centuries, since this desacralizing process resulting from the destructive battle between science and religion has yielded a world beleaguered by profound challenges, perhaps it behooves us to reconsider our attitudes toward religion and religious practice. Giving religion a bad name, calling it the purview of the superstitious, the fanatics, and the wishful thinkers. These are the centuries-old negative branding schemes of rational materialism. Observed from a different angle, these negative branding schemes also form the basis for the degradation and suppression of the feminine principle and correlated rituals and practices of pre-Christian pagan thought. However, deep engagement with the sacred elements of life and subsequent evolutions of the human soul, the transformations from mortal to divine enacted when I merge willingly, inwardly, privately with the transpersonal. This process is the birthright of every human being on the planet. In this course, we will therefore examine the Carl Gustav Jung, who wrote about this active tension between the lower self and the higher self as the primary function of psychological experience and the creative force behind all existential reality. Jung spoke of two worlds unfolding at one and the same time within each and every one of us. Rather than be embarrassed by the transpersonal dimensions of the psyche, we will study the work of Jung through the lens of religious practice, with special emphasis on his oracular and prophetic encounters with the underworld.